back on the internet, and it's time to look at whatever garbage Kent Hovind is talking about this wonderfully still frosty Sunday morning. I don't really have anything special for a preamble, no announcements, no nothing special going on. So yeah, let us just go on and get to it. He's finishing up the live stream, so we're coming in while it's still going. Um, this is he's got that little intro going on still, so that's lovely. So I have to jump ahead now every single stream. No, we don't want the live chat. I don't care about the live chat. Get rid of them. It's a bias chat anyway. All right, let's do this.
Here, February 1st, we made it. This is Groundhog Day, right? Anybody know, is that right? Tomorrow, okay.
Who cares? I grow weary of that tradition.
Groundhog season. No, I don't know. I just want winter to be over with. It's cold out there. The Bible says many are cold and a few are frozen. Something like that, okay?
Kent, we've barely had a winter. We've had this one frosty section with sub-zero temperatures for a week and a half. That's been it. Otherwise, throughout Christmas Day, it was 70 degrees in Memphis, dude. Come on.
We are covering the guy named Ahasuerus today, King Ahasuerus. So get your Bible ready. Go to the book of Esther, right pretty much in the middle of the Bible, before that, before Psalms. Book of Esther. We'll talk about that.
Remember, Psalms is just Pensacola. Everything in the universe is based on location relative to that.
That in a minute. Anyway, we're on a bunch of different channels. We're on Facebook, on Rumble, on X, Twitter, used to be Twitter, our own app, Instagram, TikTok. Just sign up for all of them.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it.
Where they're free, okay? They take us off and say, here we are. The Persian king.
Ah, yes, they took us off. They took us off. Ah. So the Ahasuerus is some Persian king. Okay, cool, Kent. Cool. I mean, I knew it was a biblical character. I'm not an idiot, but I had to title it like, what is that, some kind of dinosaur? Because it does look kind of like a dino name.
Ahasuerus. What an interesting character. We're doing Bible characters.
Ahasuerus, okay.
Character study.
Ahasuerus, Lazarus, Mazarus, Pythagoras, there.
Them. What can we learn from them? What can we learn not to do? How many of you learn how not to do something by watching?
And no, Kent has no idea what cold is.
Somebody else do it and get hurt. Yeah. If you got to make all the mistakes yourself, you will not live to be a teenager. Okay? So you can learn from other people.
You know, Chris, surprisingly, from what I caught, I think he actually stays more on focus with this one. I could be mistaken. I could have just popped in the moments where he actually went back to talking about the character. So, place your bets now.
I like to watch idiots on forklifts and idiots, in cars and idiots driving semis. And anyway, okay.
How about idiots who run cults? How about that one?
I got to change that. It's actually April 21st, I found out. I went back and looked at the records. Yeah. We got 5 more days to finish the arc, guys. Yeah, I'll change that, okay. Here we are in Lenox, Alabama, way down there, southern Alabama. Look at this. We are on the map. Dinosaur Adventureland.
Look at this.
Somebody's map. I don't know whose it is. Okay. We're an old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical chick.
Drugs, otaku. Nothing but drugs.
Eaton Baptist Church. We believe the Bible is true and evolution is stupid. We think the whole world's 6,000 years old and all the layers and all the fossils.
Praise Jeebus Crispy, Otaku's car was able to start. It totally wasn't a property of chemistry, thermodynamics, and sheer force of will on Otaku's part. Nope, it was all Jeebus. No, we did that thing again.
Nearly all of them were made in 1 year during Noah's flood. There is no geologic column. That fires them up. Evolution theory is the
No, it doesn't fire us up, Kent. You're just dumb.
Dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. There's no scientific evidence for it. Prove me wrong. We cover a show every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. You can call in. You got some evidence? I want to see it.
Thanks, YouTube. Glad we got total potato quality on the stream.
Demolish it for you. Okay. Come join us. For holidays, we'll be your family. Come join you even on non-holidays.
I'd rather die.
If you're confused about life, I get a lot of calls, Joseph.
No, I'm not confused about life. I'm confused about how you've managed to stay alive, but that's a completely different discussion.
And see a lot of texts come across. People say, what do I do? I'm confused. I don't know what What's my goal in life? Well, if you got big decisions to make, you're wondering what to do,
I believe the band Talk Talk covered this well. Life's what you make it.
come visit Dinosaur Adventureland for a few days and stay in one of our cabins.
That'll tell you how not to live.
Watch the stars from our sand dune. Let God speak to you. It's a great place to hear God speak. Call 855 Big Dino extension.
Kent, and this is going to go very metals, but what if somebody goes there and God speaks to them and tells them to just go crazy on everyone and everything? How would you feel about that? What would your reaction to that be? God's telling them to do this. Are you going to stop a warrior of God from doing whatever they think they need to do per God's message? Really want to be careful with that whole let God speak to you thing. Maybe, you know, this is a case where you'd end up deferring to naturalistic principles and thinking that the person is still responsible. In this one case, it'd be convenient for you to go that route.
Two, to talk to Bobby about coming down here for that. She knows all that. She's been here for, how long have you guys been here? 5 years, just about? 3.5, this time, okay. And, or call extension 3 to talk to me. Okay. Maybe you got too much.
Yeah, seriously. If you're confused and you're asking Kent what to do, step 1 is clicking X in the corner of the screen. I mean, not if you're watching my stream, but if you're watching Hovind's stream and thinking you need to call him. If you're watching my stream, then you've come to the right place. Stay a while. We have cookies. And 0 crypto miners.
Noise going on around you. You know, cell phones, TV. You're too busy all the time. Stop and think. Get away. Come on. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. In the book of 1 Kings 19, after the earthquake.
You know, if I'm going to go to Alabama, I'd rather go to Huntsville. It's only half the distance. Probably less than half, honestly. And they've got a whole Saturn V rocket there, yeah. And I really need to get in touch with the administrators and such over there at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center and be like, look, what do I have to do to get to see the cool stuff that's hanging out in the back? You know, what do I have to do? Please, can we make some time? Do you need a donation? I will fork over the funds. Because one of the things that they should still have hanging out on the open lot is a Titan II, and somewhere at the facility is the upper oxidizer stage of the Gemini 5 launch vehicle first stage, and I totally want to check that out.
Wait, there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire, a still small voice. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in a mantle and went out, and the Lord said, what are you doing here, Elijah?
Okay, aren't you supposed to be talking about Ahasuerus?
You want to hear God? I think this is a good place to do it. We have lots of stuff to do if you want to help finish our Noah's Ark by the 21st, April 10th, April 21st, our 10-year anniversary. Our 1/3.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing. It's like if one of Kent's followers committed some atrocity, Kent would distance himself so fast your head would spin. Except, yet, like most of your right-wing nutwits, the person would likely cite them as inspiration for these actions. But when some weirdo, I think in Norway or something, shot up a school, and he happened to be a big fan of The Amazing Atheist, TJ had to go out of his way to like stress, like, I interacted with him once. There was never any conversations on anything else. You know, I can't control what people who watch me do, but I've got no relation to this. And you know that happens common, and it's true. You can't control people, and you know. But when you have a mental model like Kent does with this, what does God tell you to do? And it's like it's just a voice in your head. And if it tells you to do something unspeakable, you'll say, no, that wasn't God. That was the devil talking to you. But it's like, how would you know if either situation was true? But of course, whenever it's something that's not going to be seen as bad by the group you want to impress, it's always God speaking through, God acting on them. But when it's not, it's the devil. It's so convenient in all ways.
Scale model Noah's Ark, 172 feet long, is about 95% done. Titus, you have worked 1 billion hours on that thing. Can you finish by April 21st? All 7 apartments, all the rooms.
Yes. Stay a while and listen to the Yamato. All right, y'all get a free Darth Sidious here. Stay a while and listen to Yamato. Do it.
The animals. Okay. there's it's going to be really cool. We need lots of stuffed pairs of stuffed animals. If you see any stuffed, aardvark.
I don't know, Taku. They watch my stream long enough to give it a quick dislike. Seriously, there should be like a minimum watch time before you can interact with a video, before you can comment, before you can give a like or a dislike, what have you. It would just make sense, but it is what it is. Incidentally, someone gave a dislike to my Challenger stream the other day, which amused me. It's like, okay, must have ticked off somebody who doesn't understand basic terminology.
Just small ones. We'll put a pink and a blue ribbon on them. Let's see. Plan to come visit for the 10th anniversary. We'd like to get the road blacktop down there. It's a muddy mess now. It's gonna be worse with a lot of traffic. But
you'll never have traffic, you fucking moron. Mark says, I'm confused. Must now go to a church that's been dressed up as a Jurassic Park ripoff. That'll fix my confusion. Yep.
By what the cost of blacktop this area here, it's probably going to cost $60,000 to $80,000 to blacktop. If we get whatever we get, we're going to go.
Would you stop saying blacktop? God fucking damn.
Until we run out of money, we'll tell the guy, give me $12,000 worth of blacktop, and then we'll quit. So we don't go in debt around here. There's the arc right there. You want to go around the arc. Okay, let's see. Raising funds. Call Bobby if you want to help. 855 Big Dino extension 2. I'm guessing 60 to 80,000 to do the whole thing. So if you want to, I got $50. I'm gonna.
Please pave our gravel pit for us. All this money could go towards getting many of us in the chat out of sticky situations we're in life. But no, give it to Kent Hovind so his dinosaur park can have blacktop around their shit ass Noah's Ark. Fucking hell, this is. Welcome to the problem with the world. Just shit like this.
If we can't do it all, we quit. We don't go in debt, okay? We don't have any debt. Also don't have any surplus. Run right at the edge of zero all the time. That's why I like get our Dinosaur Adventureland piggy bank. Is it over here? Yeah, look at that. Joseph, do I get to keep your money in there? Sure. Put it toward the road, toward the blacktop? Okay.
My God, they've branched out into poorly branded, cheap Chinese mass-produced crap. Yeah, Kent, was that made in America? Don't think so, buddy. Probably contains more lead than a goddamn RBMK. Actually, they used very little lead, so that joke failed miserably. Anyway.
Get a QR code for those yet? No, wait on Garrett. Garrett, wait, okay. Hurry up, Garrett. Okay. Join us for free.
I'm waiting on Garrett. Garrett, put the goddamn URL into Restream so it generates a QR code.
Free.
I don't know why Joseph isn't doing it, but, I'm sure they're waiting on Garrett. It's for some particular reason. As in, it ain't on the website yet or something.
Help us stay open for free. And go to drdino.com. So I want to help you guys stay open. I think you're doing something that's worth doing in this world. I think so, too.
This one just has to be read out loud from friend Rochester Swift, a.k.a. Masters No Mistress. The only place I'd care to see that deep into the south is New Orleans, which is an island of fascination in an ocean of cracker pigs. Oh, God. That made my morning.
9.8 years now, open for free. Slide number 12 on 1. Ahasuerus. Who on earth is this guy? Well, he married later a lady named Esther, who's very famous and ties in.
Oh, the chick who handles the Chocobo races in Golden Saucer? If you know, you know. That was my first experience with the name Esther as well.
Incredibly ties into the future of Israel. We'll show you in a minute. I think every person running for political office or in a position of any authority, even you dads and moms, you better listen carefully to the life of King Ahasuerus. Lots to learn from this guy.
What? The fake tears come up. To learn from this guy. I'll hear that. Oh, and yeah, like 2K would get me going all at once in the current state. 10K would solve all the problems.
Carefully to the life of King Ahasuerus. Lots to learn from this guy.
It's so pathetic. Oh my God. I mean, you don't even try, Kent. You don't even try to hide that it's fake as hell. So much to learn from this guy. Anyway, back to my 15-foot whale penis. Hovind.
The Bible's got 66 books, 39 in the Old Testament. These Old Testament books cover about 4,000 years of history from the creation up until just before the birth of Christ. There's the books of minor prophets. Those are the guys that God told to go deliver a message. Sometimes it's to an individual, sometimes it's to a nation, sometimes it's to the whole world. The prophets. Some prophesied and told about the future. Some prophesied and told about just to tell what God already told you. There are two kinds of prophets in the Bible. Some just came and
Yeah, 2 billion people in the world don't have clean water. So much chance for Christianity to be Christian instead of pumping it over to Kent. Exactly.
told, hey, God already said do this, now quit, knock it off. There's nothing future about it. It's just reminding them of a warning that what God told them. Then there's the first books of the law called the Pentateuch, penta meaning 5, history. There we go, the history of Israel from the book of Joshua, where they came out
That's true. We need a Kent Hovind action figure with wife beating action. Or child beating action if you prefer.
of the promised land. Moses led them around for 40 years. They came out of Egypt, led them around. They went into the promised land, and Joshua led them in. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho.
Teach your kids to say Hovind. Something like that.
All that you can read all that in the book of Joshua. Then we come to the book of Esther. Esther takes place during the time of
No, him coughing into his hand is fucking terrifying. The amount of stuff that's just completely diseased at DAL is incredible.
the Persian Empire. Here's the history. The creation of the world was about 6,000 years ago. Abraham was called to start the nation of the Jews and God's people right about 2,000 years.
Talking about his neck and stuff, you want to notice he's got some like major right side droop and left side almost paralysis. He always talked out of the side of his mouth, but look, man, he's getting worse.
After that, 2,000 years before Christ. Then the law was given to Moses, right there. You can get this timeline, it's right behind me. And then we have 4 great kingdoms: Babylon, Persia, Greek, and Roman. This is the vision that the king saw. This big golden statue with a golden head, the chest and arms of silver, belly and thighs of brass, legs of iron. That's in Daniel chapter 2. God revealed to King
Wow, interesting that none of that was titanium or aluminum or uranium or thorium or molybdenum or any of those elements and stuff they hadn't discovered yet. Just basic metallurgy. Hmm. It's funny none of these biblical prophets ever dreamt of, nuclear weapons, space travel, freaking lasers. It was always shit that would have made sense in their time and only their time. I mean, at least Nostradamus' bullshit actually, can be interpreted to be talking about something, relatively modern if you stick your tongue out, squint your eyes, and, don't pay attention.
Nebuchadnezzar the whole future of the world in that dream.
Really? Did he describe Castle Bravo? We could have known to monitor the lithium in the Castle Bravo and been like, no, this lithium will burn too. You will get a bigger bang. But no biblical prophecy warning against that. Nothing saying, hey, the Soviets are going to go up to about 58 megatons, and after that, everyone's going to realize maybe we should stop. No, nothing like that. Yeah, I guess I've got nukes on the brain this morning.
You read Daniel's interpretation or get my book, What on Earth is About to Happen. Anyway.
Honestly, I think that's kind of a barometer for my mood, is my interest in nuclear weapons and how much Eurobeat I'm listening to. What do the two have in common? Honestly, Japan. That's it.
So we got the kingdoms. We're going to talk today about Esther, who took place during the Persian Empire, just to put it in kind of context for you right there. Okay. God said in the book of Deuteronomy, you're a holy people unto the Lord thy God. You're not special because you're better. You're just special because God chose you. They read verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number. You were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath that he swore.
Ah, yes. Alabama man. Ken Hovind figure with wife beating action. South Park already came up with Alabama Man years ago. And no, Tyler, this is this morning stream, which would have just wrapped up.
Or to your fathers, that would be Abraham. As the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondmen.
That's a good question. Does the DAL bookstore charge sales tax?
Just as we see happening today, the nation of Israel, a little tiny country, is greatly affected by the kings and the kingdoms around them. There we go. King Ahasuerus, we'll be talking about him.
So, for clarification, Kent's Sunday streams are usually 10:30. Sometimes they're 11 is when they start, but it's supposed to be, I guess, ostensibly 10:30. It just varies depending on, I guess, whatever the hell they're doing in the morning. If or breakfast goes long, or if Kent has something else he's working on, or he just decides to sleep in a little bit. I don't know.
Just a minute. Israel is only 75% as big as New Hampshire. It's a real tiny little country. And the whole world's been fighting over it now for a long time. And they're still over there. Right now, check the news, okay? They're still fighting over there right now.
Hey, you know, there wasn't much fighting going on up until about 47, 48 range. Then things got really bad really quickly. I wonder why. What could have happened during that time, Kent?
Everybody, this little tiny land has been lusted after, conquered, or attacked by its neighbors for 4,000 years now.
Kent, it's honestly a desert shithole. That's not to knock the native population and what they have done in the areas, especially, modernization before Israel annihilated Gaza. It was coming along. I was impressed with what I saw. For depressed people like that to be able to build cities to the degree they had. Yeah. Otherwise, it's fucking desert, man. It's shitty area, all because your fable says, "Hey, this is supposed to be for these people." You just and it was just made so. Holocaust made a convenient excuse. Well, now we gotta give them some land. Look what happened. It's fucking pathetic.
Now, then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them when they were building. This is talking about the temple. And they hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose. All the days of King Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
No, we will not knock the elephant's foot like that. Although people need to understand that the elephant's foot is not nearly as hot as it was, and it is now an extremely fragile object. Radioactive, but not nearly as bad as it was. Thermally, not much higher than ambient temperature, and is incredibly fragile. It is decaying glass at this stage. The real problem is just a couple of rooms over and one room below on the radiation maps of the Chernobyl Unit 4 remains, where most of the remaining fuel actually wound up. That area is still pretty damn bad.
And in the reign of Ahasuerus, this is the first mention of this guy in the Bible. In the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah. So they wrote to the king complaining about these Jews. We really should wipe them out, Hitler. Whoever you are. Let's see.
Hey, Kent, anti-Semitism existed long before Dolphy Boy, and indeed he adopted a convenient scapegoat for the time. In the same way, all of you regressive fuckwits want to blame the immigrants on everything. Which immigrant actually means anyone who isn't a freaking wasp. Or they talk. It's something that kills me. They constantly talked about, well, if they came here legally, and it's like people who were fucking born here, normal ass U.S. citizens whose parents were naturalized, and everyone's getting fucking deported, and like, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, this is what happens, folks. It's happened for a long time for these folks. The reign of Ahasuerus. Ahasuerus is mentioned once in the book of Ezra, 29 times in the book of Esther, and once in the book of Daniel. You can study this for yourself, okay? Came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus.
Yeah, I'm going to be very serious on this. May anything built by Israel or the West in Gaza, in Palestine itself, may it forever be annihilated from history as quickly as it's installed. It's it's beyond sickening what has been going on. And to realize that for all those years beforehand, I bought into propaganda, that the situation wasn't as bad, that the Israeli propaganda actually, got me. I'm still fucking pissed at myself. But we all make mistakes. That's one of mine.
Is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India to Ethiopia. Monster kingdom. 120 and 107 and 20 provinces. They had conquered 120 nations, either conquered them or they just said, we.
Kent, 107 and 20 is 127. Also, why these people can't just count with normal ass numbers confuses me.
We quit. No, we don't want to fight. You can have us. Went into slavery voluntarily. In those days, when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which is Shushan the palace. This is now, we call that country Persia.
Oh boy, the Shushan palace. Yeah. Get your shoes shined. Get your ass whooped. Otaku's gonna know the reference. I changed up some of the names, but or some of the terms, but yeah.
Today, this is the Persian Empire. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast to all his princes and the servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and the princes of all the provinces being before him. He called in the president of every country, make sure they're, see how one.
I called in the president of every country. These were all regencies, Kent. Come on.
Wonderful and powerful he is, and threaten him, intimidate him. Don't mess up, politicians do. Yeah. Which he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellency, majesty, many days, even 180 days. 180 days. He had a party to entertain his rulers for half a year.
Wow. Hey, Kent, look at them Epstein files and see what Donald Trump was doing with Jeffrey Epstein and how many years that was going on. Yeah. Need you to look into that.
That's a long party. Yeah. Here's the Persian Empire, part of Egypt all the way to India, the Persian Empire. Here's the little bitty tiny country of Israel, stuck in the middle of all this again, okay? So Nebuchadnezzar's dream with...
Yeah, Drusilla popping in. I bought into the propaganda for many years too, but to be fair to us growing up, all the information we received about Israel was heavily curated. Glad our eyes are open now to the genocide now. It's just... still fucking sucks no matter what. I mean, I know your comment wasn't intending to change that feeling, more of an empathetic, yep, I was there too, but God, it just fucking sucks.
The statue had the head of gold, and Daniel interpreted it and said, hey, Nebuchadnezzar, that's you. You're the king. You're the head of gold. After you is going to come the Persian Empire. The Medes and the Persians. Took place about, 539 BC to 331 BC, before Christ. And I like using BC. Forget this BCE stuff.
Oh my God, Kent, no one fucking cares. Just come on. What is it? The Anthropocene calendar or something? I ought to start using that just to piss off Hovind. Congratulations, everyone. It's now the year 10,2026.
You know what that means? Before the Common Era. They're trying to take Christ out of our books. Forget it. Leave it in there. BC and AD. AD is Anno Dominio. It's Latin for in the year of our Lord. They've changed that to BCE. And what do they call it after Christ? CE, Common Era.
He literally says after Christ there. Like, come on, dude. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. We don't have to change the calendar, but now it's not tied to Bronze Age fables beyond just the fact that it's based on that arbitrarily originally.
Forget all that junk. Don't do it, okay? Esther chapter 1. And when those days were expired, when they finally ran out of...
Yeah, I call them the Trumpstein files now, usually. But yeah, the Donald J. Trump files, we might as well do that. He does love to put his name on everything.
Juice at the party or whatever, I don't know. The king made a feast to all the people that were present in Shushan, the palace, both great and small, 7 days, in the court of the garden of the king's palace. So after their 6-month party, he has another 7-day party just for his staff, I guess. were where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen and purple to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver upon a pavement of red, blue, white. He's really trying to impress his people.
Well, Otaku, you never know who you're gonna meet is connected where. Um, Pop in the Discord sometimes and give me the info on that, because I'll admit I've been following the Epstein files only loosely because there's so much stuff going on, and also me trying to enjoy life rather than be pissed off absolutely constantly by absolutely everything. But that most recent leak, I'm definitely going to do a stream on. But yeah, fill in the details sometime. That'd be interesting. Just how Moot plays into everything. Of course, why wouldn't he play into everything? He runs fucking 4chan.
You know, okay. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse one from another. Mine is made out of clay. It's fine for me.
Wow. No one cares.
And the royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king. And the drinking was according to law. None did compel. They didn't force anybody to drink. So the king had appointed to all the officers of his house, and they should do according to every man's pleasure. And Vashti the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus. Oh, honey, you're going to have your party. I'm going to have my party at my house for all the women.
So, the story's about a corrupt rich man that loves gold and gaudy shit. Yep.
On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman and all these guys with hard names, the 7 chamberlains. By the way, when you get
Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagatha, Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass. Not that hard, not compared to Ahasuerus. Ahasuerus, I don't know, but Bigtha, Carcass, God, they're just making shit up.
stuck on a hard name in the Bible, skip it, move on, don't get distracted.
What is this? Jesus? I ain't doing this. This book sucks. Also, from the guy who expects you to make it through Genesis with a long list of begats. If it's got a hard name, just skip it.
Call him George and, keep reading, get the point.
Boy, really cares about the Bible.
7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus. He told them, hey guys, I want you to bring Vashti the queen before the king with a royal crown to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look upon. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, his counselors.
Yeah, that's the real fucked up thing, is the abject corruption going on. That cabal of just pure evil that, thanks to capitalism is able to control anything, do anything, it sounds so ridiculous, and yet the Epstein files absolutely prove that that's the case. And to think we've got a monster like that running the country. What sickens me most, though, is that his health is in such shit shape. He will not live to have justice be served. Honestly, he should have been locked away for the rest of his life after the 37 felonies or whatever. It's fucking ridiculous. I just got convicted of multiple acts that could be considered treason, but I still get elected president. What the fuck?
For so were the king's manner toward all that knew the law. You got a question? Go ask the lawyers or people who should know, okay? So, king was married to the most beautiful woman in the world, Queen Vashti. He told her to come in. I want to show everybody how pretty you are. She said, I ain't coming. Laban, back in the book of Genesis, had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah. The name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. Beautiful, talking about, beautiful. Favored is their face, their figure, look physically in shape. Use the word favor quite a few times in the Bible.
Boy, I didn't expect us to have this level of misogynist shit, but here we are.
Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. A whole bunch of times in Genesis 41 about the sheep, that they were, or the cows, the kind, those that are well favored. In other words, they're proportioned properly.
Okay, Kent. And yeah, the Sumerians they were just a more advanced society. That's all there is to it. They were a step above most civilizations around them, and so their storytelling was far better.
How many have seen somebody at Walmart that is not properly proportioned? Have you seen some of them?
Oh no, Kent, you don't look like the most in shape person either. Not that I am, but glass houses, throwing stones, something about that.
Have you seen all those funny stuff going around about cutting out the welfare stamps?
Cutting out the welfare stamps? What the fuck are you talking about? All right, Kent, if you're trying to talk about quote unquote food stamps, um, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program in the United States hasn't used quote unquote stamps since basically before I was born, and it's an archaic holdover for people to call it food stamps when it's a debit system. Secondly, welfare is not a thing. It's a collective term for assistance programs. And I hate people doing that. It's like when people talk about, oh, you need, like I had some guy when I worked at Walmart, some dude just pissed off the water wasn't warm at the sink, in the bathroom. He's like, you gotta have the warm water to kill the germs. And I'm like, okay, I know there's, we use germ theory is the name of the overarching thing, but there's not a specific thing that is a germ as a pathogen. It's going to be viruses and bacteria that cause the issue, which, where germ applies is its own thing. But you want to be a little more specific, especially since you use different methodologies to fight such. Which is funny. It leads to, I think, at Toys R Us, where someone who was a cashier was beyond just stupid when someone talked about possibly being exposed to the flu or something. She pops over the walkie like, have you tried taking not even antibiotics? She said autobiotics instead of antibiotics. And it's like, one, it's not called autobiotics, and two, that's for bacterial infections. That's not going to do anything for a virus except destroy your own biological ecology internally to a point where the symptoms might be even more severe. And it's just, it's fucking insane. But that kind of logic stems from just hearing, oh, germs. So for Kent to go through that same grouping that he did earlier, I don't even remember what he originally said. What the hell did he say?
All those funny stuff going around about cutting out the welfare stamps?
Oh, yeah, he said the welfare stamps, calling collectively assistance programs welfare. It's like, that's not one individual thing. That's an overarching concept. But what he just said there makes no fucking sense.
Usually,
and isn't that like you getting your $2,000 Doge checks or whatever, your $5,000 Doge checks and your $2,000 whatever checks that ain't happening? It's funny, you idiots are all like, yep, I'm getting those, can't wait for those, and you're not getting shit.
Some 600-pound lady, what am I going to eat now? How about live off the fat of the land for a few months, Never mind, don't get me started, okay? Favor is deceitful.
God, what a piece of shit.
Boys, it's great when they're pretty looking, but don't be deceived by it. Okay? And beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Proverbs 31, that's the kind you want. It's nice if they're good looking, but hey, get one that fears the Lord. That's most important. Solomon's God-inspired advice. Don't marry for favor or beauty. Find one that is genuine Christian and fears the Lord. How many men married because of her beauty or favor? Looks good, I'll take it. And later got stabbed in the back. Anybody been there before? Okay. 70% of divorces
No, you haven't, Kent. None of your wives have looked good.
in the U.S. are filed by women. 90% if they're college educated.
Why could that be, Kent?
One lady said, "What do you do for a living?" She said, "I'm a housekeeper." Really? What's that? Well, I marry somebody rich, we get a divorce, and I keep the house. Then I marry another one, and I divorce him, and I keep the house.
That makes like 3 misogynistic bites in a row.
I'm a housekeeper, yeah. Watch out for those guys. They're out there, aren't they, brother? Yeah, okay. So what do we know about King Ahasuerus? He was king over a vast kingdom, okay? He made a feast to show off his wealth. The feast lasted a half a year. Had a gorgeous wife. When he was half drunk, he wanted to show off his wife. She refused to come. Problem. They say, he said to his counselors, "What shall we do unto Vashti, the queen?" According to the law, because she hath not performed the commandment of the king by the chamberlains. What are we going to do to her?
Yeah, Rochester says, well, Kent, when so many corporations pay poverty wages and people qualify for assistance, it's the corporations that are getting welfare. And let us not ignore the multiple number of times since I've been an adult that various megacorps have been bailed out by the government. Let the auto manufacturers fail. I don't fucking care. Let them fucking die. New car companies will start up. That's capitalism. That's how it's supposed to work. Don't use my tax dollars to bail out fucking GM. Fuck them. Fuck everyone else. Start importing old East Soviet, Eastern Bloc Ladas. Solve the problem real quick. Here's an idea. Maybe outlaw those goddamn trucks. Just all kinds of fucking big ass trucks if you're not doing actual fucking work. It's ridiculous. Specialty vehicles should not be everyday drivers, but don't get me started on that crap.
She embarrassed me.
Also, public transit should really be invested in, but that's too much like socialism. But bailing out farmers isn't socialism.
And Memucan answered before the king, "Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also unto all the princes and all the people that were in all the provinces, the king Ahasuerus."
And yeah, seriously, what has King contributed to society? In all honesty, what of value has he contributed? Not a goddamn thing.
He said, "King, this is a national problem. It ain't just for you, this affects everybody. Okay? For this deed of the queen shall come broad."
Yeah, cut out welfare but give money to Kent to build a soft toy boat. Way to go, Kent. Very good point, Sean. Bobby Moore says, "Hey, Kent, go back to college and get a better education, you loser." Got him.
Broad unto all the women. All the rest of the women are going to hear. You don't have to do what your husband says. Let's see, what did he say about that? "It shall come to all the women, so they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in, and she didn't come. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, there shall be much contempt and wrath." Hovind translation, "King, you better do something, or the whole..."
I just want to point out, wouldn't that be pronounced Medea instead of media? I want to think that's how it would be.
whole kingdom's going to fall apart. This is a national emergency. The queen didn't come, okay? After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased.
Yeah, and then when we bail them out, they lay off thousands. If we bail you out, that money should stay with the workers. Uh-oh, that sounds too much like communism. Workers own the means of production. A dictatorship of the proletariat. We can't have that now, can we? They might not let us keep our millions of dollars and our immunity from crimes.
Finally calmed down, okay? He remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her.
Yeah, seriously. Let car companies go under and liquidate their stock for a couple of $100s each. And then, as I said, new car companies will form. They'll buy the old manufacturing equipment and just continue. They'll buy the brand names. That's how this shit works. Actually, even better, let the people who ruined the companies keep the brand names and be able to restart, quote unquote, the businesses and write off the goodwill that the previous company that they helped destroy still has attached to the name. Remember, anytime you see an article about Toys R Us coming back, it's not Toys R Us. it's assholes who killed the company, set it up for destruction back when I was still a kid, somehow managing to keep the most valuable asset and rely on that to start up a whole new scam. It's incredible how that shit works.
Then said the king's servants that ministered to him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king. And let the king appoint officers.
Yes, the good book, and it decides to bring up virgins again. Yep. Because, there's nothing else important in women that men care about, at least in biblical times.
In all the provinces.
Which is very weird that the Bible stresses the purity of the women so many times. And yet Hovind interprets it as having this message of, hey, don't marry for looks. So I guess it's only the ugly chicks who haven't had sex they want. I don't know. I don't understand this. Either way, it's really fucking disgusting.
Of his kingdom. Send somebody out to each of the 127 kingdoms to find the pretty women and bring them to the palace. We're going to have a beauty contest.
I don't like where this is going. If you know the recent Epstein file release, you know why.
Let's see. And put them in the custody of Hedgie, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them. Give them whatever they want to look pretty, smell pretty, whatever it takes, women, okay? What do we know about this king? He had a vast...
What do we know about this? What do we know about this? I should do a whole thing where I read Hovind's, something Hovind wrote, and I say, well, what do we know about Kent Hovind? And just do the same fucking thing. Set up his slides in the same format, which is easy to do because I have his 2003 slide set. Kent is the poster creep for pastors needing oversight from church elders who answer to a congregation. Yeah.
Kingdom. He made a feast for half a year to show off his wealth. He had a gorgeous wife. He was half drunk. Called her to come in. I want to see everybody see your beauty. She refused to come. She was fired from being queen and held a beauty contest.
Yep. And give the assets back to the taxpayers. We subsidize the companies, don't allow private equity to scavenge the assets. Bingo. Rest in peace, Joanne's Fabric. Yep. That hit a lot of people I knew at the time. And while I may or may not be friends with those people anymore, I can still relate to the fact that that really killed them in a lot of their crafting of all kinds of things. Cosplayers hit really hard. Not that I'm too much a fan of most cosplayers, but, still.
Find a new queen. That's what's. Keep in mind, this is a heathen kingdom, okay? We can't expect them to do Christian things in a heathen kingdom. And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti.
Sounds like there were ugly girls want sex ads in the Bible. Don't fall for that, Kent. 500 girls near Lenox, Alabama want a piece of the Hovind. They ain't the prettiest, but they are lasses of virtue true, according to biblical standards, and they want to know Kent biblically. Just forward over $500 and your social security number.
And the thing pleased the king. He thought, great idea. Yeah. And so he did. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite.
Mordecai, Kent? Mordecai. Or is this something like Pharaoh, where you have to say it a particular way?
Saul was this Kish, Saul, son of Kish, King Saul, okay? Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captive.
King Saul saw it all. Got shot with an arrow in the ball, I don't know.
Captivity, which they carried away when Jehoiakim, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, carried away.
Ivana got fired, then executed, replaced by Maria, and then by Melania. God, I hate hearing that bitch speak. Deport her ass.
So Mordecai has been taken off to slavery. And he brought up Hadassah, that is...
Sean brings up that General Motors Australia was given millions to keep building cars. They then sponsored a football team and pulled out of manufacturing and broke contracts with dealers. Of course they did. Of fucking course. Why the fuck wouldn't they? That fucking sucks. Stop reading the Bible, Kent, and read a real book. I'm loving the emojis being dropped in. You can't pronounce Mordecai? Yeah, seriously, I had to do a double take on that one. And the Lord said, delete your browser history before playing this game. How the fuck do you not know how to say Mordecai? I don't know, man. I guess he never watched I was gonna say Rick and Morty. No, regular show. Kent does not know how to party tonight. Is this a sermon about Kent being disappointed and his dating pool is very limited? Honestly, yeah, I see it. Gilgamesh, greater than the Old Testament. True facts. Ivana got staircased. I was once a stud like you, but then I took an arrow to the balls. Hang on. That's gotta go, Palpatine. I was once a stud like you, but then I took an arrow to the balls. Here's another fun rabbit hole to go down. Stadiums. Oh man. Yeah, fuck those sponsorships from sporting arenas and shit. And also, why the fuck is every goddamn hospital like religious associated? Oh, you got Methodist here, Baptist here. It's like, how about just plain old ordinary ass hospital? Can we fucking have that? Can I walk in and not see a picture of fucking Jeebus? I'd rather walk in and see a goddamn picture of Kim Il Sung, and I'm not even fucking kidding. Walk in, I see a picture of Kim Il Sung. I'm like, okay, if the power doesn't go out, I'm going to live through this surgery. It's like, fuck, man.
Esther, his uncle's daughter. So he's raising his uncle's.
But yeah, stadiums and the sponsorship these companies pay as advertising. It's ridiculous. Like, fuck that shit. Fuck advertising. God damn.
Child.
Advertising should be fucking equal opportunity. I have as much right to advertise as a corp does.
For she had neither father or mother. The Bible doesn't say kid must have died from something, okay? And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead,
what a fucking idiot,
took for his own daughter. And it came to pass, by the way, so anyway, you can read the whole story. I'll skip some here. They gathered all the beautiful women in the kingdom to let the king pick the one he liked in the beauty contest. Okay. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his royal house. He chose her, okay? Which is the 10th month.
Yeah, I just did a quick sanity check, and Google says it is most definitely Mordecai. Like here we go.
Mordecai.
Let's make it slow for slow-witted hope.
Mordecai.
Is there the British pronunciation? Let's see if it's different.
Mordecai.
Well, that just sounds like
Mordecai.
that sounds freaking Korean. What? Anyway.
Month Tebeth. They use a different calendar. The 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women. And she obtained grace and favor in his sight, more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal.
Elongated muskrat in the Epstein files? What a fucking shocker. They should have proof he's a true piece of shit. Also ironic for him to have called that guy during the cave rescue pedo guy, which somehow he got away with. When he's on a list of fucking pedo fucks. What do I expect? Not even surprised. That's gonna be the greatest thing, is the Epstein list is in the end gonna tear down everyone and everything. We cannot let this shit go. It has to be investigated to every bit possible for as long as it fucking takes.
Crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Now, girls, if God made you beautiful, be careful. God's got a special plan for you, and it's not to ruin somebody's life.
What if it is, Kent? What if your God, in his inept capability and for some reason his lack of ability to just strike you down because you're a piece of shit, has specifically constantly put these women in your life to ruin you, and for some reason it's not working? Granted, in this situation, your God is still a pathetic piece of shit who is more inept than a goddamn quadriplegic. But, and actually, people with no fucking arms and legs can still accomplish quite a fucking lot, so I feel bad for making such a reference. But they're not going to be as capable as your supposed God is. and yet they're still more capable, even being handicapped. But again, what if the role of those women is to destroy your existence? And somehow they keep failing. You say it's not, but if it was, who are you to argue against it, Kent? You just say, nuh-uh, that's not true because it's something you don't like. Well, much like Darth Vader being Luke's father, just saying that's not true, that's impossible, doesn't change anything.
It's for you to. He's got a special plan.
Also, for those who don't know, in Return of the Jedi, when Luke explicitly asks Yoda, "Is Vader my father?" was put in there for the children who were fans of Star Wars at the time by Lucas to ensure that there was no ambiguity. An adult could read between the lines, and definitely later on in the story, but he felt the kids needed explicitly it said right there to where it's like cold cut. He absolutely is. Little trivia for you.
For Esther, made her beautiful. Okay. Then the king made a great feast to all his princes and servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. So he's got his beautiful young bride now, and the king's finally happy again.
Oh no, man. She kind of got resting bitch face. Looks like she had a little Botox around the lips. Not there's anything too wrong with that, but I mean, how far can the cosmetic surgery go? That hair needs a little bit more brushing. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Mordecai discovered a plot. Chapter 2. When the virgins were gathered together the second time, Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Anytime you see that in the Bible, they sat in the king's gate, that's equivalent to our courtroom or our community, or what do they call it? Civic center. Not civic center, what am I thinking? Courthouse, okay? That's where they would hold court. See, they had big, huge, thick walls around their city to protect them from the bad guys. They were so thick sometimes, they had a gate at each end of just the wall of the doorway.
Yeah, that's the thing with Mordecai. It's like it's not even like a weird archaic name. It's a name that still exists. And also, I look at it and I see, yeah, I can clearly see this is Mordecai. And I'm sure you're the same way, Otaku, especially with our, studying of Japanese, influencing that. But yeah,
So it might be there'd be a brick wall there and 50 feet, and then another brick wall, and the whole thing is one big wall. But at the gate, you got to open 2 gates to get in. And above that gate, they would have people ready with hot boiling oil to pour down on you in case if you do get past the first.
but you can't. That would only be gotten going when the city was under siege. They didn't just have it waiting 24/7 and just random people who walked up to the gate. Oh, what's the password? I don't know. I'm coming in anyway. Wouldn't get boiled. They'd probably take an arrow to the balls.
Gate, we're going to slow you down for the second one. They had it all thought out. That was their warfare back in those days. So in the king's gate often means that's where they held the court. So Mordecai must have been promoted to a high official of some kind.
Well, it's like when a lot of, especially the UK YouTubers, they see Hovind's name and they'll say Hovind. That's always kind of funny. Although, to be fair, I did the same faux pas meeting. Well, actually, it was in a Q&A with Steve Bloom. I said Blum, and afterwards I felt bad, but I hadn't trained myself that it was Bloom, Bloum, was with a long U sound instead of a short U sound. Yeah. He was impressed that I knew he was, not just that I was being a Guild Wars fan, that I know he did Ritlock's voice, but also that I knew he had done extra voices in Stalker, Clear Sky. His face lit up when I brought that up. And it's just minor roles, but it's still weird thinking, oh yeah, the same guy who did the robot for Toonami, who was Spike and Cowboy Bebop and the like, also voiced random Ukrainian guys hanging out in the Chernobyl exclusion zone in a 2011 set sci-fi survival horror game. But yeah, I think we're all obligated to pronounce it Cuntavant.
We see the book in Esther. Esther, when she became the queen, said, honey, would you please, my uncle Mordecai, he raised me, he's really my dad.
Oh, now he says it correct. Let me move the microphone. I'm about to facepalm. That hurt. And I hit the headset, which was surprisingly loud. Wow, yeah, he called him Mordecai there. What the fuck, Kent? How do you watch this and not think for a minute, maybe this guy isn't the sharpest tool in the shed?
Would you give him some kind of government job? So he got one. Okay, he's in the King's Gate. In those days,
Yeah, good point. Pizzagate was total projection. Hang on, I gotta get the Donald Trump splooge out of my nussy. Ugh.
in those days, while Mordecai sat in the King's Gate, two of the king's
And he says Mordecai again. Jesus fuck, Kent.
chamberlains, people that took care of his bedroom, changed the sheets or whatever, the maids, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth. They were mad at the king, and they sought to lay hands on the king. They were plotting to hurt the king. And the thing was known to Mordecai. I mean, he's there in the gate. He hears these guys talking, I guess. Who told...
Hang on. Elon got rejected from Epstein Island. Oh my god. What a fucking idiot.
it to Esther, the queen. And Esther certified the king in Mordecai's name. Hey, honey, my dad, my stepdad, uncle Mordecai, heard these guys talking.
Otaku, you're right. You're right. That is how that idea got put in. Now that you bring it up, I remember that. Thanks for adding that factor in.
She warned the king about it. And when inquisition was made, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree. And it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king. They put it in the court records. What happened? Okay.
I don't think Kent is getting Kent's getting rejected by everybody. He will never have a fifth wife. Congratulations, Kent. Your hand is wife 5.
Shows up later, as you'll see tomorrow night. After
Actually, honestly, it's probably the same one he coughs in. Ew.
these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. The who? Agag? Who was this guy? This all ties together so beautifully. Brother Mike,
Yeah, and half of it you sound like you're trying to cough up a lung. And then the other half is you butchering pronunciations.
I've been reading that book for 57 years now, and you can't get to the end of it. There's hidden gems in there. You see them every time, like, whoa, where's this been? Why didn't I see that last time? Just keep reading it for the rest of your life, okay? Agagite, and advanced him.
Kent's family thinks Rise of Skywalker is the best film.
And set his seat above all the princes. So the king Ahasuerus gave this guy Haman a promotion. You're now the vice king or vice pharaoh, whatever they called him, okay? And he's in the king's gate, and he reverenced
I don't think Persians had pharaohs, Kent.
Let's see. All the king's servants in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. Told everybody, hey, when Haman goes by, everybody bow down. Like in the military, you salute, okay? But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said to Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Why don't you do what the king said? Anyway, chapter 3, verse 4. It came to pass, when they spake daily to him, he hearkened not, didn't listen. They said, Mordecai, you better bow down to this guy. You're going to get in trouble. Too bad, he ain't listening. And they told Haman to see whether Mordecai matters would stand. For he had told them he was a Jew. Mordecai said, I can't bow down to this guy. I'm a Jew. It's against my religion. Don't bear false witness. Don't make any graven images. Don't bow down to them. And when Haman...
That's completely unrelated. Showing cultural respect is... It shouldn't hurt your little god's fee-fees, but apparently it does, in which case your god is pathetic.
Saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. You know, some people, you give them a position of authority, you give them a title.
Yeah, boy, boo-oey, I don't know.
And it goes to their head. How many have ever seen that?
Oh yeah, you give a title and it goes to their head, Dr. Dino.
At work, they promote somebody to be the foreman or the general or the manager. They're nice when they're just plain working, but when you give them a title, it ruins them. So sad, okay? And they sought to lay hands on Mordecai alone. I'm sorry, they thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai. He thought, I'm sorry. Haman said, I'm not just going to get him. I'm going to get all his people. I'll show them who's boss. I'm going to get all the Jews. His real name was Hitler, I think, okay?
Wow, how many times are you going to make the same fucking joke? Eat shit, Kent.
Thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai, for he showed They had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. Here we are, folks. We got a problem. This one guy, because of his promotion, and this one Jew who won't bow down to him, this guy decides, I'm going to kill them all. This is...
Hey, Tigray, you're towards the tail end of the stream, but glad to have you.
Basically the theme of the book of Esther. In the first month, that's the month Nisan, where the Japanese build their cars, I guess. Okay. In the 12th year of King Ahasuerus.
Kent, are you still bitter that the Japanese outdid American car manufacturers, and as far as I'm concerned, still do? You know, I was very pleased the other day. While transiting from my place of employment to my place of where I fucking sleep, I ended up seeing one of those Japanese efficiency trucks. Like the same kind, at least it looked roughly the same form factor as the one in the meme post going around where dude actually finds his old truck when it was still in Japan on Google Street View. Or his new old truck imported from Japan. Yeah, and I was like, yes, that's what we need. It fit in the lane so nicely. It didn't look obtuse. It's like if everything was like this, it'd be so much better. Affordable, efficient.
They cast poor. They cast the lot through dice or something. I don't care what that means, okay? From before Haman.
I just don't care what this element of the Bible has. You know, the Bible's literally true, scientifically accurate, and I can prove it to you, but I don't care about this particular part.
From day to day, from month to month, to the 12th month. That is the month of Adar. I guess he's deciding, when am I going to carry out my plot? When am I going to kill all the Jews? So they cast lice.
Were you saying Bowie or Boo Earns? Brrr. Let's all go to the lobby. Barney's film had heart, but football on the groin had a football to the groin.
Dice, and it came out to December. Gives them plenty of time to plan. And Haman said to Mordecai, King Ahasuerus,
Yes, not a doctor, Kent Hovind.
There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people of all the provinces of thy kingdom. And their
his lack of self-awareness is indescribable. Also, freeze frame. There we go. There we go. There's our thumbnail.
Laws are diverse from all people, and they keep not the king's laws. See, when you hate somebody, you accuse them of being a lawbreaker. Don't they do that with me, Joseph?
No, Kent. We don't hate you, and thus we accuse you of being a lawbreaker. You have been found guilty of multiple criminal and civil violations that are part of the many, many reasons why we don't like you. See, you got the cart before the horse.
He's a tax protester. Yeah, check that on the internet. Okay, watch today's.
Yeah, look at the actual court case. Look at the actual what the tax people actually have to say, and see, wow, Hovind actually did do it. And yeah, congratulations. It's been a year since Daddy Trump ignored you.
Anniversary. A year ago, I did a show, Open Letter to Donald Trump. Read it. Watch that. I'm not a tax protester. Okay.
We did, Kent. You are. That was a terrible stream. Tigre says there's nothing more reliable than a Toyota or a Honda. Those fuckers can work excellent even after 150,000 miles. Exactly. Exactly. I've seen Toyotas with near 3K that are still fine. Just standard maintenance and they're going. It's like, you're telling me that is worse than some F-150 that can barely pull 50K before the engine blows. And that's just someone driving around normal. And I like the F-150 range. I'm not going to lie. They're obtuse as hell. Well, not the one basic 150, but, going on up there. But I like those trucks. But come on.
Therefore,
you don't need them is the thing.
Let's see. They don't obey your laws. They got their own laws. Therefore, it is not the king's profit to suffer them. Profit. Haman pushed the right button. Hey, king, you're going to lose money by keeping these people in your kingdom. Money.
Otaku, what is it pronounced? Wester? Anything like that? Because I instinctively, I see Wooster, and I want to say it like that, Wooster, but I think it's Wester.
That gets every politician's attention. Okay, money, profit. Okay, yeah.
Mom, not for the Hovind. Pay for me to blacktop my goddamn sandpit.
That's why when I wrote my book, The Kennel, I pointed out that all politicians and judges and congressmen and police are allowed to own stock.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's just crazy. You look and you see, cars that are, you remember from being that were new when you were a kid, or cars that are older than you still on the road, and it's just like, damn, man. Like I'll watch video from, film from, 10, 15 years ago, and I'm like, oh shit, the cars are different. Like you notice that change, which was a comment on the 10th anniversary of 9/11 that I remember someone doing in in the official thing, is like, or in a feed on it, was like, you notice, you look back at the footage and the cars all look different because it was 10 years ago, and that was an era of drastic change in car design. But yeah, it's just wild, looking and being like, oh man, the change is so gradual, but when you go back and see it, in snapshots, it's so obvious. Kind of like evolution. Huh. By the way, he's about to mention how in the kennel, oh, the people can own stock in the prisons. Oh, it's like, yeah, prison system sucks, Kent. I agree with you there. But you weren't persecuted. And you got white collar bullshit prison. Throw your ass in 201 Poplar for a year. Let's see how you do.
In the prison system. The longer they lock people up, the more money they make on their investment. Get the book, The Kennel. Yeah. When I become king, I'm shutting that whole system down. Okay? If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. Haman says, King, these people, they don't obey your laws. You don't get any money out of them. I think they should all be killed. I need to write this out. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business. I'll make sure we got 10,000 talents of silver to pay all the people going around killing these stupid Jews, to bring it into the king's treasuries. So what do we know about this king? He hired a hothead named Haman to be his trusted assistant. Politicians need to be careful choosing their staff.
From Grunwaldi, I'm sorry. If you hate them, you accuse them of breaking laws, like what you did with the IRS. They broke over 100 laws to imprison me. Good point.
All you politicians, be cautious. Somebody might sneak in there with an ulterior motive, okay? The king believed Haman's accusation that...
Is that a threat, Kent? Are you threatening government officials? I think you're threatening government officials, Kent. That's not cool. That's very not cool. I believe that's a crime. Let me just go back on that and make sure.
Politicians need to be careful choosing their staff. All you politicians, be cautious. Somebody might sneak in there with an ulterior motive, okay?
I don't know. That sounds like a threat to me. Just like someone, driving away from you. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I think you just threatened people.
The king believed Haman's accusation that the Jews were evil and agreed to let Haman kill him. Here we got a problem. The king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman. That's the way they would take the king's ring, to seal the document so you know this is legitimate. Okay, it's a notary or something, okay? Haman, the son of his dad, okay, the Agagite. Who is this guy? He's the Jews' enemy. What do we know about Agag? Let's see. In 1 Samuel 15, they took Agag.
Yeah, if I pronounced something incorrectly, I meant 300,000 miles, so 300K. Yeah. Double the 150 people are reporting on.
Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive. God had said, utterly destroy them. They took the king alive, Agag.
So more of Worcester instead of Worcester. Rooster, book, rooster, Worcester. Okay. Instead of Worcester, Worcester. It's subtle, but it's there.
They spared Agag. Saul did, King Saul. And this is why Saul lost the kingdom later and David took over. It's another long story in 1 Samuel. But Agag is mentioned in the Bible 8 times. He never should have lived through that time when Saul should have had him killed. God told him to do it, and he didn't do it. Have you ever felt like God told you to do something and you didn't do it, and later it ended up costing you a whole bunch because you didn't listen to God? Yeah, okay. Keep living. It'll happen to you, okay. See, he's the Agagite. And the king said to Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as seemeth good to you. Here's your money, here's your staff, go do the job. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month. which was written according to Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and the governors, and that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people, and that was sealed with the king's ring. So he had the king's ring. He could make these documents and send them out to all 127 provinces. Hey guys, this is official. I want you to kill the Jews on this date. Now keep in mind, it's a huge kingdom. It's got to go by camel or horse. It's going to take them 4 months to deliver the message, to get anywhere. So, great advice. Don't make decisions based on short-term gains. That's what the king did here. Don't let emotions drive your decision maker. Seek advice from others. Get some advice. The Bible says, in the multitude of counselors there's safety. Twice it says that. Before you make major decisions in life, get lots of advice. They won't.
Hello, my name is Dr. Kent Hovind. I have a doctorate in Christian education. I can't pronounce half of the names in the Bible. Hovind.
all be right, or even agree. But it'll bring the issue into focus so you can decide. Multitude of counselors. Get a lot of advice. Call me for advice. I'll tell you what I think. Then call somebody else. They might think the opposite. Okay. Get 10 people's advice, and you'll probably end up seeing the truth in there someplace. Right? No, multitude of counselors. There's a lot in the Bible about getting advice. Okay, whole bunch in the book of Proverbs, whole bunch in other verses in the Bible. Study that for yourself. Get advice. So what do we know about King Ahasuerus? He made a rash and unwise decision to exterminate the Jews without thinking it through. He's going on Haman's word. These people need to be killed. Okay, next case. He's going to eliminate all the Jews throughout his kingdom. He listened to one counselor, Haman, and made his decision. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Let God's word guide you in decisions you have to make. From a child thou hast known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in Christ Jesus. All Scripture is given by inspiration of God. The word inspire means to breathe in.
No one cares. Prove your stupid God.
We use the word expire when somebody dies, a respirator. Spire means breathe, okay? For what's the Bible profitable? It's profitable for reproof, correction, instruction in righteousness. Why? That the man of God may be perfect, throughly, not thoroughly, throughly. Big difference. Furnished unto all good works. Huh. So they sent the letters out by posts. Get these guys, get on your camel or horse, whatever you got, a moped, and go deliver this message. To destroy, kill, and cause to perish all Jews, young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar. So they send them out on January, and on December we're going to have this big party to kill everybody.
Do I even want to go into a rant about the calendars? I really don't.
And you can, by the way, if they own any property, you can take it. That's what it says. Take the spoil of them for a prey.
Well, yeah, they're not exactly going to need it when they're dead. I mean, dude, Kent, you want to say that Persian dude is bad for this, but when God commands your favorite little group of weirdos in the desert to just annihilate everyone else around them, it's good. If it wasn't for double standards, some people would have no standards.
So they tell the governors, tell your people on December or whatever it is, we're going to kill these people, and you get to divide up whatever they had, their money. Isn't that what Hitler did with the Jews? The copy of this writing for a commandment to be given in every province and published unto all people.
And yeah, coincidentally in the older video he was talking about the inspired word of God.
That they should be ready against that day. And the posts went out, being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan the palace, and the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed. Everybody's wondering, what's happening? What did these people do? Why are we supposed to kill them? It doesn't matter. The king said do it. How many Germans said, we're just obeying orders? Wasn't that their answer?
How many ICE members are going to say we're just obeying orders?
So, Esther chapter 3 ends with wicked Haman getting permission
And Claude, good point. It was the Bible that inspired the Holocaust.
to kill all the Jews. Because one Jew, Mordecai, refused to bow to him, Some evil people today still hate those who don't reverence them or see their worldview, or
Like Hovind.
seek to get rid of them or silence them any way possible. You don't
Like Hovind.
agree with evolution? Well, you don't deserve to be teaching. You don't deserve to be on the internet. We're going to take down your YouTube channel. You don't deserve to breathe. We're going to lock you up in jail.
No, you violated YouTube's terms of service, Kent.
This is the same attitude. Nothing's changed, okay? Atheists don't just
Can't snack without having to talk shit about this dude.
disagree with creationists. They hate them and seek to silence them. Watch the protests going on today in Minnesota. It's going to happen again in about 8 more cities before it's over with.
That shit has nothing to do with your stupid ass fairy tales, you fucking idiot.
Those who think they have a right to food stamps or welfare get angry when others disagree and think maybe they should work for their food like everybody else.
People who think they have a right to earn the profits of all the labor from those working under them get angry when people disagree and believe that everyone should be paid fairly, should be compensated fairly, should own the means of production as a communal effort.
Somebody sent me one of those shorts about some lady with, pink and blue and green hair, and pierced everything. They took away my food stamps. What am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to get a job? Well, maybe the problem is go look in the mirror.
Wow, funny, he says that in the exact same way as when he made fun of the supposed obese woman earlier. Wow, it's almost as if Kent is making shit up.
You hire you to work for you? How do they not get it, Joseph? Anyway, what's going to happen to the Jews? Is Haman's evil plan?
Tell you point blank, Kent, I wouldn't hire a fucker with a douchebag haircut like you. Of course, you're unhireable anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Mister, I haven't worked a real job in 50 fucking years.
Going to work? We'll cover that tomorrow night. Lessons we can learn from Haman. Don't marry for beauty or favor. Some of them are evil and are only marrying you for money or status. They're called gold diggers. How many of you have ever heard of those or seen those before? Yeah, okay. Or been married to one before? Never mind, okay.
Poor Hovind. Everyone feel bad for Kent.
Don't make major decisions, or don't give people authority too quickly. Check them out carefully. Don't make major decisions in life based on one person's opinion. Good advice from Ahasuerus. You got a big decision to make in life? Slow down. Get a lot of people's opinions. If you don't like it, go with somebody else. But you get 8 or 10 opinions, you're probably going to find the answer in there. All right, let's pray. Lord, thank you for giving us this life, and thank you for giving us opportunity to make decisions. Lord, please give us wisdom. A lot of people are struggling and suffering.
Fuck your prayer, Kent. Rather, with Otaku's comment, which you've brought up before, reference really pissed me off. I don't even remember making a reference to that Treehouse of Horror, but yeah, Homer saying the alien, or not Treehouse of Horror, that was the Burns episode, where it turns out Burns was getting treatments to prolong his life every week. Every Friday. Yeah, I double checked that. Yeah, you were right. It is every Friday, but it was only the first one. Why would he assume it's a weekly thing? Yeah, hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Out there, Father. A lot of people don't know what to do, where to go, who to marry, where to live. Lord, help them to take time.
Well, Kent, maybe if rich ass fuckwads weren't buying up all the property and that there was a proper distribution system for property, there you go. Maybe it should be like the cat distribution system where the property chooses the owner and not the other way around. Y'all know about that, right? The cat distribution system. Some untold, unknown force in the universe that specifically distributes cats to people at the right time. They just decide, yep, I live here now.
To just sit and think and seek your face. Shut off all the noisemakers and just listen. Use our little ministry to help many people get the right decision made now, Father. Guide us in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. See you tomorrow night. How can
I just say imagine a world without religion, and wow, you've got an outro now too? What a load of horse shit. This sucks. This sucks. And you couldn't just pick some music to play or something. It's got to be more of Kent's inane ramblings. Good God. What a load of shit. The Bible literally says to feed the poor. Maybe the problem is food is too expensive. Yeah. Why is junk food more affordable than eggs? Yeah. Yeah, why is a bunch of soda more affordable than like soda water? Why is that? Makes no sense. Kent usually claims evolution inspired Hitler to eliminate Jews. Now he admits it actually was the Bible story. That's definitely something to make into a quick short there, Claude. Fuck you, Kent. They're homeless people working full time. Yeah, 9 years in prison. You'd have a problem getting work the rest of your rest work in the real world, Kent. Yes, he would. Like, really, we should challenge him to apply to places and see if he can actually get a job. I just want to see it. If he applies to Walmart and see if he can actually get offered a job. Hovind gets mad that sports athletes get more money than preachers. He's jealous of them. Yep. As a registered dietitian working with people struggling, Kent is pissing me the fuck off. I can imagine. I want to debate Kent on food stamps. You should. He won't take it, but you really should. It's like, Kent, if you don't want to debate on it, then stop bringing it up in your goddamn sermons. This man is gross. He repeatedly says he's read the whole Bible so many times, but acts and speaks like he's never read any of the Gospels in his life. Fuck you, Kent. Yeah. Kent is obsessed with his tech guy, Joseph, and can't go more than a few sentences without speaking his name. Love is wonderful. Yeah. It's really kind of disturbing. Burrito place I have lunch at sometimes has employees with tattoos and piercings and weird colored hair, and I prefer all of them to Kent for handling food I eat. Yeah, same. I mean, I don't have a burrito place near me that has a bunch of, oh no, people with tattoos and crazy hair, but, you know, it's the exact same attitude. If I was in a situation, I'd totally take, anyone else. You were saying like Hovind, the same way Hovind was saying like Urkel. Ah, gotcha. Like Hovind. And he's a piece of shit every Sunday morning. Like Hovind. Alien burns blunder, a wizard did it. Good point. Hey, don't believe in Jesus or evil. Yep. Who to marry? Kent, stop making your sermons about your dating life. Seriously, this was just another one that was just him complaining about his dating life. A pastor that isn't an ex-con is just one that hasn't been caught. Exactly. That's how I got my cat. He just showed up one day and was like, I'm here, bitches. Yeah, Tyler, exactly. Ken has found the fifth Miss Hovind. Congratulations, Joseph. Ooh. Yeah, good point. Ken is an ex can't con get a real job. Yeah, he can't. He can't. Ken harps on God and never mentions Christ. That's not even Christian. Yeah, that's another good point. Did Ken ever debate Stephen Jay Gould? Uh, I don't even know. I don't think so. Could be mistaken though. And yeah, Joseph is wife number 5. All right, well, that was a Hovindrific stream. I, as always, regret watching the man's videos. I really wish he could understood that the only people who watch his content more than those who are trapped at his stupid cult happen to be people like me, Claude, and Big Bad Mama. And they have me beat on how much of him they watch. I just choose to cover entire videos. They strategize and cut out the little shorts where necessary, which are always fun to catch. But that's about that. I'm going to hop off. Fire up the old Guild War, see if there's anything I can accomplish worth a damn. And try to relax and enjoy the off day before we go back to a normal work week, which I'll be glad to at least be earning decent money again, since last week hit hard with missing a day, us not being open a day, and having short shifts. And it apparently tired me out because I have had low energy. But we'll see how next week goes. Much love as always. Am I gonna stream anymore? I might. I might not. Just depends. Just keep an eye out. If you made it to the Discord, I forget whether you did or didn't. I tend to post an announcement if I'm going live. If I remember to schedule the stream, sometimes I actually post it ahead of time. So yeah, just have to go do dishes so I can eat dinner today. That reminds me, I need to wash my clothes. So I'm gonna go do the laundry. we'll see how things go. And yep, you take care as well, Rogue, and everybody out there. And yep, everyone be safe.